Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 greatest boxers of all time. So before starting this video, please like this video, and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. All greatest of all time lists, whether they're about Disney movies or TV series finales, cause a certain amount of controversy. The world would be a boring place if everyone had the same opinion, right? But a recent list of the greatest boxers of all time by us got a lot of people seriously wound up. Boxing is without doubt one of the hardest sports to compare achievements and rank the all-time greats, but that doesn't stop people trying relentlessly. Most recently, Floyd Mayweather claimed that he was a better boxer than Muhammad Ali and should be rated more highly. If you don't agree, or you're annoyed by the rankings, just remember, it's an opinion, which we're all allowed. It sounds like as good a way as any to determine the greatest boxers of all time. Here are the results. What do you think? Number 10. Julio Cesar Chavez, the 2nd of June 108, 87 COS. Chavez was known for his heavy hands and fierce fighting style. He holds records for the most total successful defenses of world titles, tied with Omar Narvaez with 27, most title fight victories, 31, most fighters beaten for the title, 31, and most title fights, 37. The legendary fighter's 1993 win over Greg Haugen at Estadio Azteca set the record for the largest attendance for a boxing match at 132,274. A multiple world champion in 3 weight divisions, super featherweight, lightweight, and light welterweight, Mexican Julio Cesar Chavez competed professionally from 1980 to 2005. He holds the record for the most successful defenses of world titles, 27, and enjoyed an unbroken run of 87 wins, before his first professional loss to Frankie Randall in 1994. Number 9. Floyd Mayweather Jr., 50-0, 27 COS. Arguably the greatest promoter and defensive boxer in history, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is one of the more fascinating fighters the sport has seen. Mayweather Jr. has the highest plus-minus ratio in recorded boxing history, making him the most accurate puncher since the existence of CompuBox. He's won 8 championships in 5 different weight divisions. With a record of 26 consecutive wins in world title fights, 23 wins in lineal title fights, 24 wins against former or current world titlists, and 2 wins against International Boxing Hall of Fame inductees, Mayweather Jr. is unquestionably one of the greatest boxers in the history of the sport. Always keen to come out of retirement to celebrate his 5-0-0-0 in the ring, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. was quick to share the BoxRec greatest of all time list on his Instagram page. Numbers don't lie, and BoxRec told the truth. It is what it is, his caption read. With a total of 2,256 points, Mayweather is over 800 points ahead of second-place Pacquiao on the list. According to Forbes, Mayweather was the highest-earning athlete in the world in 2012, 2014, 2015 and 2018. Number 8. George Foreman, 76-5, 68 COS. One of the most iconic boxers of all time, George Foreman is best known for his upset of Joe Frazier to win his first title in 1973. Foreman defended his title twice before his first professional loss, which came to Muhammad Ali at the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974. After leaving the sport for 10 years, Foreman came back and regained a portion of the heavyweight championship at age 45. As of 2019, Foreman remains the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history, and the second oldest in any weight class. Outside of boxing, Foreman is known for his entrepreneurial career. He promoted the George Foreman Grill and sold the naming rights for $138 million. Number 7. Rocky Marciano, 49-0, 43 COS. The only undefeated heavyweight world champion in history, Rocky Marciano is massively popular due to his punching power and relentless passion for fighting. He won the heavyweight championship in 1952, and made 6 title defenses before eventually retiring in 1956. His defenses came against Jersey Joe Walcott, Roland Lastaza, Ezzard Charles, twice, Don Cockle, and Archie Moore. With an 87.76% knockout-to-win percentage, Marciano is easily one of the most powerful heavyweights ever. Fans adored his tremendous heart, and he's widely regarded as one of the top 10 heavyweight boxers of all time. Marciano is one of very few fighters to retire without a loss and the only heavyweight to do so. Number 6. Jack Johnson, 7-7-1-3-1-4, 48 COS. The first black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson is one of the most iconic figures in sports history. The boxer transcended the sport he played in, becoming part of the culture, and a major figure in the history of racism in the United States. Johnson became a champion in 1908, and he held onto the title until 1915. Despite finally getting his chance to compete for, and win, a title, Johnson was driven in exile for much of his reign as champion. To avoid facing charges under the Racist Man Act, he lived and fought in Europe and South America. In his most notable fight, Johnson dominated James J. Jeffries in the fight of the century. Number 5. Sugar Ray Leonard, the 1st of March 36, 25 COS. Seven-time champion Sugar Ray Leonard fought the best boxers of his era, beating each and every one of them. Among those he beat are some huge names: Wilfred Benitez, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, and Roberto Duran. Over a 20-year career, Leonard won world titles in 5 weight divisions, the lineal championship in 3 weight divisions, and the undisputed welterweight title. Leonard was named Boxer of the Decade in the 1980s, earning more than $100 million in purses over the course of his career. Leonard won an Olympic gold medal in 1976 and is widely regarded as a top 10 boxer of all time. Number 4. Henry Armstrong, 151-219, 101 COS. The only boxer to simultaneously hold world titles at 3 different weights, Henry Armstrong was easily one of the greatest boxers in the history of the sport. Impressively, the boxer held those 3 titles, when there were only 8 recognized divisions at the time. Armstrong faced 17 world champions throughout his career, and he defeated 15 of them. After he won the World Welterweight Championship in 1938, Armstrong defended his title a record 18 times before eventually dropping it in 1940. Most publications have Armstrong ranked in the top 5 greatest boxers of all time, and many of them have him ranked as one of the top 2 or 3. Number 3. Joe Louis, 66-3, 52 COS. The world heavyweight champion from 1937 to 1949, Joe Louis is one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. He held the title for 140 months, successfully defending it a record 25 times. Louis earned the nickname Brown Bomber due to his punching power. Some all-time boxing rankings list him as the top fighter on their lists. In addition to his boxing prowess, Louis is known as one of the first people of African American descent to become a nationwide hero within the United States. He had a major impact in integrating the game of golf, becoming the first African American to play a PGA Tour event. He was one of the most popular champions of all time. During that time he defended his title 25 times to become the longest reigning world heavyweight champion of boxing of all time. He volunteered to enlist as a private in the Army in 1942, and reached the rank of sergeant before his release in 1945. In 1993, he became the first boxer to be honored by the U.S. Postal Service, when a Joe Louis 29-cent commemorative stamp was issued. Number 2. Sugar Ray Robinson, 173-19-62, 108 COS. The best pound-for-pound fighter in history, Sugar Ray Robinson won 126 straight fights to begin his career. He was seemingly unstoppable, defeating legends such as Jake LaMotta, Carmen Basilio, Gene Fullmer, Randy Turpin, Carl, Bobo, Olsen, Henry Armstrong, Rocky Graziano, and Kid Gavilan. Robinson became the first boxer to win a divisional world championship 5 times, and was named Fighter of the Year in 1942 and 1951. Robinson was the most complete fighter to ever take the ring, dominating the competition throughout his career. In fact, 3 of his 6 total titles came after a 2.5-year retirement. There will never be another fighter like Sugar Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson, hailed by Muhammad Ali as the King, the Master, my idol, was the inspiration for the pound-for-pound ranking, used to describe a boxer whose skill in the ring puts him above every other fighter in the world, in any weight division. He was the welterweight champion for 5 consecutive years, 1946 to 1951, and a 5-time middleweight champion between 1951 and 1960. Another boxing legend, Sugar Ray Leonard, was quoted as saying, "Someone once said there's a comparison between Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson. Believe me, there's no comparison. Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest." Number 1. Muhammad Ali, 56-5, 37 COS. Nicknamed the Greatest, Muhammad Ali was the first boxer to win heavyweight championship of the world 3 times. He's one of the most significant and celebrated sports figures in American history, and most publications rank him as the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Ali was involved in several historic boxing matches and feuds, and his refusal to serve in the armed forces during the Vietnam War made him an icon in the civil rights movement. The boxer was not only one of the best in his sport, but he was unmatched when it came to putting on a performance for fans. To many, he's the definition of a champion. Hailed by many as the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali can't be overtaken when it comes to cultural and political influence. His record was affected by a 4-year career break, caused by his refusal to fight in the Vietnam War, but his comeback was impressive. He twice reclaimed his heavyweight championship and continued to be an ambassador for peace. In 2005, he received the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, at a White House ceremony. What do you think of our list? Which of the boxer you love the most? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.